Good morning.
Morning to you.
It's been a year since the invasion to Ukraine and since the Temporary Protection Directive was implemented. What are the lessons learned that impact European cities and also Ukrainian municipalities?
There are many lessons learned. Perhaps I can focus on two. First, looking beyond policies, I think we have witnessed an impressive display of solidarity across Europe, especially at the local level. There has been incredible citizens' participation and cities, municipalities have come together and were really at the forefront of meeting the immediate needs of those escaping from the war. So resources have been created as a result of this process, and I believe the first lesson is not to waste these resources, but to keep them alive, to leverage them, especially because citizens remain very committed to continuing to provide help, to welcoming and hosting those fleeing from conflict, as in the case of the war in Ukraine. Secondly, looking at the policies, we know that with the activation of temporary protection, Ukrainian refugees have been given access to the labor market, and their children were also given access to schooling, and they received possibilities that other refugees didn't have and don't have. And I think this is tremendously important because it facilitates finding durable solutions for those escaping from the conflict.
Indeed, cities have been at the forefront of welcoming refugees from Ukraine, but municipalities call to welcome all refugees. So do you think that the Temporary Protection Directive can actually influence more inclusive migration policies or integration strategies?
Well, one would hope that certainly the positive lessons learned could be applied also to other groups of refugees. That depends, I think, on the capacity to mobilize the momentum that we have at the moment in order to bring about systemic changes. I'm personally rather skeptic about these changes, these systemic changes happening. That doesn't mean, however, that there are not possibilities about, again, turning the lessons learned into practice in the future. And I think local authorities will play a key role in this. First, because they are at the forefront of all reception responses. And so, again, they play a key role in implementing all the policies that are defined at the national level. However, they also play a key role which is oftentimes overlooked, which is a repository of knowledge. And so there are ideas, best practices that are developed at the local level, keeping in mind resources, limited resources and other constraints that work in practice because cities have been implementing them for years.
Yeah, indeed, cities need support because they lack resources, as you mentioned, especially for the long-term assistance. How can member states and the EU help them to develop practical solutions?
Well, national authorities have, first of all, to guarantee that there are sufficient financial resources for local authorities. At the EU level, new instruments have been developed in order to ensure that the assistance is continued and also that all those who would be able to benefit from these integration resources effectively access them. But of course, it is once again up to national authorities to ensure that the disbursement of these funding reaches those in need, and so more can be done in this respect. But I think it's also necessary to think again about how we conceive our integration models. And the starting point should always be to already think at the very beginning, how do you give the possibility to those who are arriving in cities to be able to self-rely. So giving access to the labor market is the best possible solution to this, because you turn those who are dependent on, again, resources, instead to be contributors in terms of tax payments, but also to the social and economic life of cities.
Thank you very much.
To you.